One thing I think about is like, can you even imagine how bad it would be if you could go back to the caveman days and like see their skin and stuff? You're out there hunting mastodons all day long. You're just out in the sun baking and stuff. Like, can you imagine how chapped and unpleasant that skin must be? Because even if you have some grueling outdoorsy work, like you work on an oil rig or something, you're eventually going home and like have all the modern conveniences and stuff. You're not just out there all the time. I guess cavemen had caves and stuff, but I don't think they had soap. Morning roundup. This is the early stages of a guitar hanger. This was a banana and is going to be a banana. Same with this. Going to be a shark. Was a shark. Smilodon skull, almost smiling. Doesn't look like much, but this is going to be the taco meat. T-Rex skull, other T-Rex skull. Something happened with this shark. I don't know what it is yet. Might just have to change the nozzle. Einstein can, and this cheese, like the last layer didn't print. So I think I'm gonna print this piece off and glue it and then kind of do filler and stuff because that's so close. Well, we've got all the printers being active contributors to society. Feeling pretty hype about having a car again. So I think it's already coffee time. It's a real shame the thank you card thing didn't work. That video keeps getting views, but maybe it'll work for other people. I don't know. Maybe people just hated my thank you cards. There's not that many days left where I get to wear sunglasses. What a sad thought. I know this is an incredibly weird thing to still be talking about, but there are little bits and pieces of the Barbie movie that keep coming back to mind where I'm trying to figure out like what that was about. Like the whole thing where she brings up like, have you guys ever think about death? Like why was that in the movie? I'm not even mad. It's not like a thing I'm pissed about. The experience of watching that was so confusing that I'm still trying to figure out what happened. Because it's like, okay, we can have a pretty cool existentialist conversation. Like, I'm down for that. Why isn't this in the Barbie movie? And also, if you're going to make some kind of ironic thing, why does this never get brought up, or it's not a major theme at all in any way in the rest of the movie? Because it'd be one thing if like you tell a joke once, right, and then you don't bring it up again, but it wasn't really funny. It was funny in that, like, I don't know, it seemed like they were trying to make a point but not. I don't know. It's so weird that movie just keeps coming back to me, like almost a nightmare that recurs. I had a roommate from Connecticut once that used to refer to things as ass parades, meaning like, look at that ass parade. The Barbie movie was an ass parade. Part of it is like, I don't watch anything anymore. Like, I don't really have free time. I guess I watched that VHS the other day, but that's very rare. So like the few things I do watch or experience, I'm thinking about forever. My roommate Metzger, that was his name, I remember now. He was from Connecticut and everything was an argument for him. But like it was almost his way of showing affection. Like the thing that was weird about it though is there were things that were real arguments where he was actually mad, and there were things that were playful arguments, but you couldn't really tell. And in some ways, Metzger was like one of my favorite people ever. But probably 12, 14 years ago on Facebook, I think I was dissing some band he liked, and he blocked me. And I guess that was an argument that was a real argument. One thing there's no argument about, it is dunking time. It's good to be dunking again. Oh, so refreshing. You know, I think one connection I have to coffee, back in my songwriting days, what I did every morning for a real long time is there was this local coffee shop I would go to. I would just try to think of like really unique, strange ideas for songs and stuff. And like, it really kind of works. Something that's strange about creativity is, in a way, it's it can be very dependent on habits. You know, you wouldn't think that something as routine as habits would aid creativity, but if you kind of continually put yourself in a place where you're expecting to write, eventually you do consistently write things. So it's a little tip for you there. I realized we're right by the small Goodwill, so let's look for some VHS tapes. If this is the one, I think it is. This is a classic cheesy old movie. I mean, it's got some screenshots or whatever people called that back in the day. And some kind of educational film about Egypt. Maybe I should have checked. See, it's actually in there. Yes, it is. All right. Yeah. Some kind of educational film. These are like $1 a piece. So I'm just curious. One thing I've thought about, like if I was literally a billionaire or something, I think I would try to make a compendium of information that is like non-internet information. Meaning, I don't even know how to describe this, but nowadays the internet is kind of like all the information we can easily access. So the question is, what about all the information that we can't easily access? You know, like old magazines and stuff, like old technical magazines or different kinds of non-fiction magazines, let's say. And then there's all the things that are like old films or old VHS tapes that aren't on the internet. I guess the point wouldn't necessarily be to digitize it all. The point would be to have it as a resource in one spot. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of talking about a library, but there's a lot of things libraries don't stock or don't keep. I don't know. This is a very half-baked thought, but I thought that if I had an endless amount of money, it would be fun to build something like this. Maybe I'm talking about a specific kind of library. A non-fiction library that is only old information. See, the thing that would be cool about it is it's not even like whether the information is correct or not. It's almost like, maybe what I want to build is almost like a library of misconceptions. Although it wouldn't only, you know, the correct information would be in there too. Because I had this old book from 1902 that was a compendium of facts that were known at that time. And it gave the ages at which different animals tend to die. And it said that swans live to be like 400 and that whales tend to live to be 900 years old, which I'm pretty sure is not true at all. I mean, I don't even know if I've ever looked that up, but I assume that's not true. It sounds super not true. So I think it would just be fun to have like a huge compendium of stuff like that. See what our forebears sort of got right and what our forebears got wrong about things. Almost with the implication that, like, what things are we getting wrong these days? Like, maybe the entire exercise would be a tangible demonstration of why we should have humility, epistemic humility. I know I'm kind of going on and on about this, but I think another aspect of this library that would be interesting is, like, there's a lot of things that are true, but the internet has very little incentive to preserve. Maybe not a lot of things, but there are things. There are things that the internet just doesn't care about. Like, think about streaming services. You know, I remember in the early days of streaming, at least, sometimes you would have some specific old movie or some specific old album you would try to listen to or watch. And like, that wasn't a thing. You couldn't find it because almost nobody actually wants to watch that thing or listen to that thing. And it's kind of like, that's just my generation, right? Stuff from my era. You know, as you go backwards in time, there are going to be more and more things that people just forget. because there's so much, we have a deluge of information and there's no reason to focus on some things or remember some things. I think it would be cool to build some kind of library or compendium of knowledge that is for the express purpose of not forgetting things. Library Arcana. Another thing that's sort of interesting about all that to me, nowadays we're very, very used to, especially if you're young, if you're Gen Z or something like that, you're extremely used to the paradigm of everybody being essentially connected, or at least being able to be connected. Like, the disconnection between people is a strange and foreign concept now. And like, it's kind of interesting to think about an era where being disconnected from the vast majority of people was just the norm, was the paradigm of the entire world. And so I think some kind of museum or library that remembers the disconnection we all had from each other. I don't exactly know what that would manifest like specifically, but it's super interesting to me. So that thing I said the other day about doing one thing per day, at least, that I don't feel like doing, it was kind of a joke, but not really. It came across as a joke, but I did mean it. And today, taking out the trash is gonna be my thing. Going to the dumpster. Annoyingly, we have to put a padlock on this thing because random people keep dumping things in here. And I kind of don't even care about that, except then I can't throw away my things, which sucks. This is strangely nice looking lighting, but I always have a weird part of me that likes to see what's in here. And it's just trash. Is it secret? Is it safe? Time to get some stuff done. This alien is going to somebody who watches this YouTube channel. T-Rex skull, got some stringing, but it'll clean up nice. Time to get some yellow paint. You know what that means. Bingo. I always hate it in the winter. It gets dark so early. Sometime probably in a week or two, we're gonna do a huge buy from Ollie's and just stock up. The idea being not have to stock up even once during Christmas. Time to send off big old Bronto boy. We are just going to kind of burrito him into a protective shell. Bam, bubble twink. Check this out, just got this from a customer. Remember the orange cat? There it is. And this is the, I guess it's a cat themed room or something. I don't know, but yeah, pretty awesome right there. Bacon wrapped pork chops with peanut sauce and peanuts. Time to do a couple of big Sharkos. Little Sharky. Big alien boy. We blacked the eyes and it is tapey time. Next we have a cheese. Direwolf. Very nice fade. Well, pretty good day so far, and we're wrapping up. Giant Einstein can just got done. We're pretty squared away. Haven't taken the eyes off of the alien yet. That one kind of fell off a little bit, but we got to touch it up. And of course, T-Rex skull. Smilodon skull will be done in about an hour or two, I think. Fortunately, we have 2 pieces of the taco done, and the last 2 pieces, which are smaller, 4 pieces total, are going to be done by tomorrow, probably. Which means that maybe not Monday, but Tuesday, we should be able to debut the taco. I also think I have all the paints that I need, so I think there's nothing stopping that from happening, which is gonna be really great. Last 2 spools are getting done. You get good at this after a while. And they're actually gonna start filling up these racks because the wall rack is pretty much totally full. Yup, another day on the books. I'm trying to remember to respond on these videos to comments more. So you can leave comments and I'm gonna try and remember to respond to them. Just so busy, but a lot of you guys on the last video said that you were glad that my car got fixed. And it's a small thing, it's really just annoying, but I really appreciate it. You guys brighten my day big time. Which does bring us to today's note of gratitude. It feels so good to have a car again. Every time something like this happens, I try to not forget it. Try to not forget like that it feels good to be able to actually go places if you need to. It's something we just take for granted, but like, man, it's just so nice. Yeah, I feel like part of this gratitude thing, I need to be thinking about, like, one thing that helps with gratitude is you just think about like some of the worst things that you've had to live through, or worst ways that you've lived. Even if you didn't live on the street like me, we've all had low points and stuff, and it is really a very useful and poignant thing to remember that. I would say it's also important when you're doing that to not compare, because there's always somebody that's got it worse than you, and there's always somebody that's never had the bad experiences that you've had, generally speaking, unless you're one of those trust fund babies, I don't know. There's a very real sense in which we all run our own race, and like, just because the things that have been difficult experiences for you to someone else may seem almost trivial or something, you know, it's just kind of not that useful. Like, you just experience things as yourself. It is good to get perspective on things. Like, sometimes, well, like I've said, when I've had a bad day or when I'm going through anything, I have a real reservoir of memories and experiences that I can draw on and remember that, hey, at least I'm not back there. And even if you don't have that, like, actually I have no idea where you live. You might not live in America. Maybe you live somewhere that's really, really horrible, but there's always places in the world, if nothing else, where people are really, really struggling, probably a lot more than you. I don't know who would be at the bottom exactly. Anyway, you guys get what I'm saying. It's okay to feel your feelings, but you also want to redirect that and transmorphify that into gratitude. So that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about the fact that I was immobile for about a week, and I am grateful that I no longer am. I'm grateful that I get to sleep indoors. I'm grateful that I don't have to worry about eating and stuff. Those are good feelings. So tell me what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be something big and dramatic. I just want to see what you guys are working on, what cool little things you got going in your life. Maybe you walked your dog. Maybe your dog peed on a bunch of things and it was cute and you were grateful for that. You can write that. You can write all kinds of things. You can write anything you want, almost. You can be grateful for a meme you saw. It's not even so much what you're grateful for, it's just that you're doing it. Over time, it's going to rewire your brain and you're going to start seeing more positive things and emphasizing them more in your perception. Which, you know, you become what you behold. If you constantly are negatively focused, it's not a guarantee, but a lot of times people that are super negatively focused exclusively, they just got more and more negative things because that's where they're getting their energy from. Not to get new agey on you or anything. So write your comments. Let me know what you got going on. and I appreciate all the well-wishing and support. I genuinely am very grateful for this. This is something I did not expect to be a thing. I did not expect the Gratitude Gang to be a gang that I'm a part of. I did not expect to receive a small dog in the mail. Shout out again to the Scottish 3D. Check out his stuff. But until we meet next time, peace out, folks. It is official. Editing mark here. I was just thinking about, like, I've watched some similar videos, similar video series that people are making online, and I was trying to put my finger on exactly what I'm trying to do differently than some of those, because, like, I obviously didn't invent making 3D printing videos. Clearly, nobody would be under that impression at all. But I was trying to think, what am I really offering that is different, right? And not just on a superficial level. Like, obviously the videos are superficially somewhat different than a lot of videos out there. I mean, partly because they're not quite as professional and polished and all of that. But I think it really occurred to me just now what I'm trying to do fundamentally that's different. And this sounds, I don't know, maybe this will sound cheesy to you. You can disbelieve this if you want to. But I want these videos to serve you. Like, I do well in my business. I don't need a bunch of income from these videos, although I do make some, and it's fun, and that's a whole new thing for me. It is exciting. I'm not discounting that at all. But I don't, like, need to be doing this for the money. And like every other series that's even sort of like this, I shouldn't say that. There are some people that seem like they have pretty cool motives and stuff, but a lot of them, they're kind of treating you guys just like another product, you know? And like, I kind of get that, because especially when you're doing e-commerce, in some sense, it's not like you know the people you're selling to a lot of times. So it's hard to have any real sense of who they are, and in some sense you treat them somewhat generically. But this is a little different, because you guys actually comment, and like, I've received things from you guys. Some of you order from me, although that's not even really what I'm trying to do here. Not that I'm totally grateful that you guys order from me. That's cool. But basically what I'm getting at is, this is a different thing. This isn't just a totally transactional thing. And a lot of YouTubers do kind of treat you guys that way. And it's fine, because, like, obviously you're watching those people's videos because they're useful. Like, there's nothing really wrong with the whole transactional thing, especially because it's reciprocal. It's like they get views and upvotes and you get information. And it's fine. Like, that's a fine thing. All I'm trying to say is that I see this as somewhat different than that. Like, so I do want to know specifically what serves you with these videos. I'm not just trying to get comments to help the algorithm. I actually do want to know. So if you have any kind of ideas about that, please tell me. Obviously, I like reading all the gratitude stuff. It's all genuine. I do enjoy this. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to enunciate that, because it just sort of dawned on me. Like, all the people that tell you to like and subscribe, maybe not all of them, but most of the people that tell you to like and subscribe are doing that because for them, you as a viewer, you're like the product. You know, you are the thing. You're a thing to be mined, to be extracted from, value extracted from. And like I said, transactional is fine. I'm just saying I'm trying to do something a bit different here. So, kind of a last minute rant, but you can tell me what you think about that in the comments. And I just felt like getting that off my chest. See you guys next time.